Imagine waking up one morning to find the skies darkening with ominous sounds, a trembling earth beneath your feet, and the alarming blast of a trumpet echoing across the land. This isn't just a scene from a thrilling fantasy, it's the solemn prophecy of the seventh trumpet from the book of Revelation. But what does this mean for us today? As we look around, are there signs pointing to its imminent arrival? Yes, we are witnessing the beginning of the end times. Join us as we delve deep into the mysteries of this profound prophecy and what it means for our lives. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. Where are you from, or how has Jesus touched your life? Remember, in these uncertain times, Jesus will bless you and he is always with you. Imagine a world where the air grows thick with anticipation, a symphony of divine orchestration on the cusp of an extraordinary finale. The stage is set, the stakes are cosmic, and the audience is all of humanity as the seven trumpets of Revelation sound a countdown, ushering in divine intervention upon the earth. Each trumpet blast holds a mirror to the escalating judgments that ripple across creation, marking stages of divine action foretold through prophetic vision. The Seven Trumpets echo a rich history of biblical symbolism, where trumpets are not just musical instruments, but heralds of significant moments. In ancient times, trumpets sounded the call to war, signaling the presence of divine power and intervention. They announced sacred feasts, calling the faithful to gather in anticipation of the Lord's acts. Thus, in Revelation, the trumpets serve a dual purpose. They are both a warning and an invitation, foreshadowing the transformative events that lead to ultimate redemption. As the first trumpet blares, it unleashes a storm of hail and fire mixed with blood, raining down wrath upon the earth. Vegetation is scorched, trees are set ablaze, and the green life once thriving begins to wither. The vision draws us back to the plagues of Egypt in Exodus, where divine edicts called for change through chaos, revealing God's sovereignty over creation. This is but the beginning, a harbinger of what follows. When the second trumpet resounds, it hurls a mountain of fire into the sea, turning waters into blood, a testament to the formidable power being unleashed. A third of sea creatures perish, and the loss reverberates through the ecosystem, unsettling the balance of nature itself. This echoes the Exodus narrative of the Nile turning to blood, a sign meant to pry open the hearts hardened against the divine message. This act of ecological upheaval serves as a reminder that all life is interconnected, dependent upon divine mercy for sustenance. With the third trumpet, a great star falls from heaven known as Wormwood, bittersweet in its bitterness, a symbol of judgment seeping into the waters. A third of the rivers and springs are poisoned, turning humanity's essential lifeline into a source of torment. This trumpet's sound recalls the essence of trial and purification, calling forth the question of reliance. What do we truly depend upon when the water turns bitter? It asks us to reflect on the moral and spiritual decay that precedes such judgment. The fourth trumpet darkens a third of the sun, the moon, and the stars, plunging the world into an eerie twilight. Day and night lose their rhythm, disorienting humanity and echoing the ninth plague of darkness in Egypt, a darkness so profound it could be felt. The symbolic backdrop here is one of spiritual obscurity, calling into question the light by which people guide their lives. It challenges us to seek the light of divine truth amid impending shadows. When the fifth trumpet sounds, the abyss opens, releasing a smoke that darkens the sky, and the locust army emerges, tormenting those who bear the mark of earthly allegiance rather than divine seal. These are no ordinary locusts. They symbolize demonic forces, unleashed to bring not death but prolonged suffering. The imagery here is poignant and visceral, drawing parallels to ancient traditions of apocalyptic literature where human rebellion invites an otherworldly response. The sixth trumpet brings a cacophony of chaos, as four angels released from the Euphrates River summon a vast mechanized cavalry. The vision is both terrifying and awe-inspiring, as a third of humanity falls to their onslaught. This recalls ancient Near Eastern prophecies of end-time battles, juxtaposed with the historical fear of invasion from Eastern armies. The lesson is stark. A world at war with itself is vulnerable to greater destruction without divine intervention. Finally, the sound of the seventh trumpet shifts the narrative from judgment to consummation, marking ultimate divine victory. Voices in heaven proclaim the establishment of God's eternal kingdom on earth. The kingdoms of the world become the kingdoms of our Lord and Christ, echoing Daniel's prophecies of everlasting reign. Amid these proclamations stand the faithful, bearing witness to God's justice and mercy unfolding. As we reflect upon each trumpet's resonant call, it becomes clear that it is not just a story of destruction, but of divine patience and persistent invitation to transformation. Each blast challenges our assumptions of security, urging a return to foundational truths and divine alignment. The Seven Trumpets, with their escalating rituals of cleansing, remind us that through understanding and acceptance of divine will, we find our refuge and promise of renewal, a countdown not simply to an end, but to a new beginning forged in faith. Imagine standing on the brink of eternity as the echoes of the seventh trumpet ring through the heavens. This is not a mere sound, it is the piercing call of a divine decree, a moment that heralds the consummation of all things. With the sounding of the seventh trumpet, the tapestry of prophecy woven throughout the scriptures comes alive, as the final act of God's redemptive plan unfolds before all of creation. As the trumpet's sound reverberates across the universe, it signals the onset of the final judgment, a theme resonating deeply within Revelation. This is the moment where the righteous and the wicked are eternally separated, a divine sifting that echoes the parables of Jesus. The righteous, those who have stood firm in faith, are embraced into the eternal kingdom, while the wicked face the stark reality of their choices. This separation is not arbitrary, but the result of a lifetime of decisions, laid bare by the light of divine truth. Amidst this profound moment, 1 Corinthians 15 comes alive with its promise of transformation. In a flash, in the twinkling of an eye at the last trumpet, Paul writes, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed. The resurrection and transformation of the faithful is not merely doctrinal, but deeply personal, offering hope and fulfillment of God's promise. Those who have passed on are resurrected, their mortal bodies clothed in immortality, a testament to the victory over death achieved through Christ. The seventh trumpet also marks the fulfillment of prophecy in a broader sense, with Revelation and Daniel converging in a symphony of divine orchestration. Revelation 11:15 declares the triumphant proclamation, "The kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever." This is the dawn of God's eternal kingdom, a vision that Daniel foresaw, where dominions rise and fall, but the kingdom of God remains unshakable. This narrative of divine victory is not just a future hope, but a present reality, one that shapes the lives of believers today. The establishment of God's kingdom calls for a transformation of heart and mind, urging the faithful to live as citizens of this heavenly kingdom. The anticipation of the seventh trumpet invites us to examine our lives, to ensure that our allegiance lies with the Lamb who is worthy. As the narrative of Revelation unfolds, we are reminded that the kingdom is both now and not yet. The sounding of the seventh trumpet is a clarion call for spiritual vigilance. It is a summons to faithfulness, urging believers to remain steadfast, knowing that our labor in the Lord is not in vain. This call to perseverance is mirrored in the historic struggles faced by early Christians who held fast to their faith amidst persecution, confident in God's ultimate triumph. The seventh trumpet stands as a powerful reminder of the certainty of God's promises. It is a time of reckoning as justice and mercy find their perfect expression in God's eternal plan. The faithful are invited into a future where tears are wiped away, where suffering gives way to glory, and where the presence of God illuminates every shadow. This is the blessed hope of resurrection life, a hope that sustains us in times of trial. Ultimately, the sounding of the seventh trumpet is a moment of profound worship. As heaven and earth unite in the acknowledgement of God's sovereignty, every knee bows and every tongue confesses that Jesus is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. It is a scene of celestial rejoicing, a moment where the symphony of heaven's praise echoes in the hearts of the redeemed. As we stand on the edge of this prophetic revelation, we are called to live in the light of eternity. The seventh trumpet invites us to a deeper commitment, urging us to reflect the values of God's kingdom in our daily lives. It is a call to action, a reminder that while we wait for the final consummation, we are to be instruments of God's grace and truth in a world longing for hope. In this pivotal moment, as the seventh trumpet sounds, heaven's truth becomes earth's reality. It is a moment of divine justice, a fulfillment of prophecy and an invitation into the eternal dance of God's grace. Let us live in readiness, with hearts attuned to the call of the trumpet, as we await the fulfillment of God's glorious kingdom. Imagine yourself standing amidst the ethereal expanse of heaven, where time appears suspended and a celestial orchestra fills the air with the resonant sounds of triumph. This is the setting for one of the most dramatic and consequential battles in the spiritual realm, the war in heaven as foretold in the book of Revelation. The seventh trumpet acts as the clarion call, echoing throughout the universe, heralding the start of an epic confrontation with reverberations stretching from the celestial realms to human history. Within this divine tapestry, the mighty Archangel Michael stands at the forefront, his angels assembled under his celestial command. A radiant figure, embodying the pure essence of justice and divine authority, he represents the unwavering force of God against the insidious machinations of the dragon, identified as Satan. This grand narrative, more than mere myth or legend, serves as a potent prophecy of spiritual triumph and eternal hope, a beacon for believers navigating their journey through the trials of life. The conflict described in Revelation 12 is at its core a spiritual struggle of cosmic scale, but it also marks a pivotal point in the vision of John the Apostle. The dragon, depicted with 7 heads and 10 horns, represents a formidable force of chaos and rebellion. The imagery is stark, almost startlingly vivid, as the dragon marshals his powers to disrupt the divine order, but he is met with the resolve and strategic brilliance of Michael and his legions. The narrative describes how the angels clash in a celestial arena, each movement and shift echoing with spiritual significance, embodying the eternal struggle between good and evil. Yet the narrative is not simply a fantastical account, but an allegory layered with meaning. Satan's fall from heaven epitomizes the ultimate defeat of insidious pride and rebellion against divine sovereignty, a poignant reminder of the limitations of earthly power against divine righteousness. The dragon is cast down, stripped of power, and his followers scattered, the celestial defeat echoing throughout eternity, reminding all of the futility of opposing God's will. This defeat is not just a victory for heaven, but a prelude to the coming glory of Christ as King. In Revelation 19, the anticipation of Christ's return is portrayed with splendor. The heavens open to reveal a white horse, and he who sits upon it is called Faithful and True. His eyes ignite with flame, symbolizing justice and insight that penetrates beyond the superficial. Around his head are many crowns, each one signifying his lordship over every corner of existence. His robe, dipped in blood, is a testament to the sacrifice that secures victory, not through brute force, but through love and redemption. The ancillary prophecies, particularly in Isaiah, hint at this shift. Isaiah 11 speaks of the root of Jesse, a banner for all people. It is a vision of peace and righteousness, where the natural order is restored under divine governance. This is further echoed in Revelation's promises of a new era, one where spiritual rebellion finds no place and harmony reigns. Satan's defeat is symbolic of the shackles being broken from humanity's heart, freeing souls to embrace a future intertwined with divine promise. This celestial narrative, though ancient, holds profound relevance today. The war in heaven is a reflection of the spiritual battles each individual faces within, the constant pull between self-destructive tendencies and the calls of divine purpose. Michael's victory over the dragon can serve as inspiration for believers to stand firm against personal adversities, knowing that divine help is always at hand to aid them in overcoming their dragons, no matter the form they take. Throughout history, this prophecy of victory has inspired countless faithful, offering hope during periods of persecution, providing courage during times of fear. It reassures us that every skirmish, Every trial is under the watchful eye of the Almighty, and the end is not chaos, but a carefully orchestrated return to divine order. As we look towards the promise of a new heaven and a new earth, these powerful images from Revelation remind us of the ultimate hope found in God's plan, a reminder that, despite the apparent chaos of the present world, a divine tapestry is being woven. It invites believers not to despair amidst current trials, but to look up, for their redemption draws near. The defeat of evil, as foretold in the war in heaven, provides not just narrative closure, but imparts hope for the age to come. It presents a future devoid of pain and tears, where righteousness dwells and God's presence is the eternal light. So when the sounds of the seventh trumpet fade and the skies clear, what remains is an enduring truth written in the heavens, the guarantee of Christ's victory and the eternal blessing that his kingdom will never end. Imagine for a moment a world transformed in the wake of divine intervention, a place where the sky is the bluest you've ever seen, and the air breathes life into weary souls. This is the promise fulfilled, lingering at the end of the dramatic unfolding of events, heralded by Revelation's seventh trumpet, the creation of a new heaven and a new earth, as described in Revelation 21. In this transformed reality, pain and suffering become relics of a past existence, stories we tell only to remember the depth from which we have come. Revelation 21:4 assures us with this compelling vision, "He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." It's a complete renewal, a divine reset, erasing all traces of brokenness and sorrow. The descent of the New Jerusalem marks God's commitment to dwell eternally among his people, encapsulating his promise of everlasting presence. Revelation 21:2-3 vividly narrates this, depicting the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. This city signifies not merely a place, but an experience of divine intimacy and community, where every dwelling is a testament to God's desire to live among us. Scriptural echoes of this promise resonate through prophetic texts like Isaiah 65:17, which foretells, "See, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind." Isaiah's prophecy paints a picture of completeness in restoration, embodying God's plans to renew creation itself. The Apostle Peter also reaffirms this hope in 2 Peter 3:13, assuring believers, "But in keeping with his promise, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth, where righteousness dwells." This transformative era is not just about physical renewal. It's an ideological and spiritual metamorphosis. The new creation invites us to inhabit a world where truth, justice, and divine love are the guiding lights. Gone are the days of deceit and darkness. In their place stands an eternal kingdom where the faithful are forever enveloped in God's glory. Yet this promise is not merely an endgame scenario, it's a divine call to action here and now. This vision encourages believers to embody the principles of this new creation in their current lives. It asks for our earthly existence to reflect heavenly values, mercy, kindness, and unwavering faithfulness, to mirror God's forthcoming divine kingdom. Through the journey depicted in Revelation, the faithful are both warned and inspired. The defeat of evil, as showcased in the previous celestial battle, sets the stage for this renewal. Evil's defeat isn't just about victory over sin, but realization of the divine promise. Each step toward this new creation involves aligning ourselves with God's will, preparing for his eternal kingdom by cultivating an environment of peace where love reigns over fear. As we navigate our present realities, challenged by earthly difficulties and spiritual battles, this promise serves as a constant source of hope. It reassures us that pain and struggle have an expiry, wiped away in the dawning of this new age. This vision redefines what it means to be truly fulfilled, urging us toward inward and outward transformation, inspired by God's ultimate plan. It is crucial to remember that the promise of a new heaven and a new earth is not only about what awaits, but about enacting its principles today. Let our lives reflect the beauty of what is to come, become architects of peace, builders of justice, and prepare our hearts for a divine presence that promises never to fade. Can you imagine living in a place where love conquers all, where joy is unbroken and life is eternal? This is the promise of the new heaven and earth, a beacon guiding us through the trials of life, illuminating every step with the light of God's unwavering covenant. The end is not an escape from this world, but the fulfillment of all creation's deepest longings.